Hello students, Hemant sir is here. So in previous video we have seen about the evidences of evolution. So today we are going to discuss the next evidence of evolution called paleontological evidence. So paleontology means what? It is the study of fossils. It is the study of fossils. On that basis they decide the age of the organisms is called as paleontology. Okay. So we know the first primitive organism which are formed in water, and from there the evolution of the organisms takes place, and different types of animals as well as plants and microorganisms formed from those primitive organisms. सो अब इसका जो एविडेंस हुआ है, इसके प्रूफ, इसकी जो एवोल्यूशन हुआ है, इसके जो एविडेंसेस है वो बहुत सारे जो एविडेंस है दे आर buried inside the earth. How? See, those organisms they becomes dead or they dead, they are got buried inside the earth due to the environmental forces. Their body is got impressed on the part on inside the earth surface due to higher temperature and pressure. That impressions is nothing but called as fossils. Like impressions of entire organism on the earth surface, like on a stone or in a soil, but they becomes very hard due to the higher temperature and pressure. That impression study is nothing but comes under paleontology. Okay, so the question which arises in your mind that what is the organism exists from the million year ago. So if you will see on the different layer of inside the earth, we will find the organisms which are primitive animals like we have here invertebrates. So invertebrates they are found inside the, or we can say the deepest layer of the earth. Then above the invertebrates, reptiles and amphibians and pisces which are found. After invertebrates, animals like reptiles, then amphibians and pisces, their fossils are formed then above the invertebrates. After reptilia, amphibia and pisces, the reptiles they are formed. Now their fossils are formed just above the layer of amphibians, and then at the top of the layer of the earth their aves and mammals are formed. So we can say these invertebrates which are originated from the reptiles, amphibia and pisces, and the reptiles which are formed from the amphibians, pisces, because they become more advanced in next generation. And we can say the aves birds they are formed from the reptiles, amphibians and pisces. So this is the way we can support the theory of evolution, that it tells that the primitive animals are nothing but the protoplasm from where the evolution takes place, and today we human being and the whale, machli, even the banyan tree which are formed from those primitive organisms only. Okay, so in paleontology we understand about the carbon dating. What is carbon dating? So carbon dating, that means by the proportion of carbon 14 and carbon 12, we can, on the basis of the radioactivity ratio, we can determine the age of the organism. Suppose our body is mostly formed by the carbon compound. That means we have carbon in our body, or entire organism they have carbon as the main constituent in their body. So carbon have two isotopes in our body. We have C12 and C14. C12 and C14. C14 is a very radioactive in nature. Radioactive in nature, but C12 is not radioactive. Non-active. When organism's body becomes dead, or the body that start a decay and decomposition, the decomposition of C14 takes place only. There is no decomposition of C12 takes place, and every organism have the fixed amount of C12 and C14, C12 and C14. So on the basis of radioactivity of C14 and the ratio of C14 and C12 in the organism's body, paleontologists can decide the age of that organism. Okay, this theory is called as carbon dating, and which is proposed by the scientist on the name the radiocarbon. Okay, now here given it is that the introduction to the scientist. The carbon dating method is based upon the radioactive decay of the which is occur naturally of the C14, because it is radioactive in nature. So only the decomposition of C14 takes place from the dead body of the organisms, and it is developed by the Willard Libby. Willard Libby is a scientist. He has developed the process called carbon dating. In 1960, he has been awarded from the Nobel Prize also. Okay, so that he was the paleontologist, and he has developed the carbon dating method by which we can identify the age of that organism. Okay, so this is called as paleontology. So paleontological evidence proves that the invertebrates which are formed after the primitive organism, that means after primitive organism, invertebrates are formed, and from invertebrates reptiles, amphibians and apes and pisces are formed. Pisces are nothing but the fishes that are the aquatic organism, and from there more well developed reptiles are formed, and from reptiles like mammals, after reptiles the evolution of like mammals, birds and apes is originated from them. So this is the way this theory supports the theory of evolution. Okay, so the next theory we have connecting links. Connecting links, it is the next evidence to support the theory of evolution. What is connecting links? Connecting link is nothing but the group of organisms that shows characteristics between two different species are called as connecting links. Take an example of chimpanzee. Chimpanzee shows more character about human being as well as few character of the monkeys also. Okay, so we can say chimpanzee which has characteristics of human being as well as characteristics of monkeys. That means that chimpanzee is nothing but the connecting link between human being and monkey. So it shows that the origination of human being takes place which is originated from the chimpanzee, and the origin of the chimpanzee is nothing but the monkey. That means our evolution starts from the monkeys. Okay, so this is the way we can support the theory of evolution by the connecting links. There are 2 to 3 animals which is given in your textbook about the duckbill platypus and then lungfish and peripatus. Okay, so we will understand in detail now. So we will understand about the peripatus. So in peripatus, characters like segmented body. The segmented body means the body of the peripatus is segmented like annelida. Annelida, you have seen that earthworm, its body is segmented. Okay, so peripatus have the segmented body and thin cuticle, and thin layer, the hard layer is called cuticle, is present on the body of the peripatus, and parapodia like organs are present, and organ like parapodia means the legs like structure which are present on the stomach region and which are paired, it is called as parapodia. So the body of peripatus is segmented, which shows the annelida's character, which shows the characteristics of annelida, and parapodia is present. Parapodia shows the character of arthropoda. So we can say the peripatus have characteristics of annelida as well as arthropoda. That means peripatus is the connecting link between arthropoda and annelida. Okay. So the next example we have in this indicates that the connecting link between annelida and arthropoda in peripatus. Okay. Likewise, we have the next example, like duckbill lays egg. You know, the duckbill will lays egg, and but shows the relationship with the mammals due to the presence of mammary gland and have the mammary gland also. So it lays egg, which is the characteristics of the reptiles, and have mammary gland in its body. It shows characteristics of the mammals. That means duckbill shows the similarity of characters between mammals as well as reptiles. Okay, so we can say that duckbill is the connecting link between mammals and reptiles. Okay. Then next example we have mammary gland and hairs. Lungfish performs the respiration through lungs. The lungfish which performs the respiration through lungs, like we are performing with our lungs. That is it is a property of us, and with being fish, but it swims in water, it lives in water and lives like a fish. That means it has the characteristics of both the species, like fishes also and like the terrestrial animals also. So we can say for example, indicate that mammals are evolved from the reptiles and amphibians from the fishes. Okay, so amphibians we can say which are originated from the fishes, and we are originated from the reptiles. Okay, so this is the way we can decide the relationship between two different species. Such species are called as connecting links. That we have understood example of the chimpanzee. Chimpanzee have characteristics of human being as well as characteristics of monkey. But monkey and human beings are quite different from each other. But the chimpanzee which shows similar property of both two group of animals. That means we can say chimpanzee is the connecting link between human beings and monkeys. Okay, so this is the way we have completed this part, connecting link, which supports the theory of evolution. Okay, so next example we have embryological evidence. So in embryological evidence, if we will see the initial development stage of the organisms of fishes, salamander, turtle, chicken, frog, cow, rabbit and human beings. All these are the different group of organisms. If we will see, after sexual reproduction, their zygote is developed into the embryo. So the initial development stage of embryos of this organism shows a gradual similarity in them. बहुत ज़्यादा सिमिलरिटी देखने को मिलेगी किनमें, इन सारे एनिमल्स के एम्ब्रायो में. But when the development of the embryo takes place, then the differences are created in the later development stage of embryo. But the initial stage of embryo shows a quite similar structure. It shows that all these animals have the same ancestors. Okay, so we can say, or we can conclude that the theory of evolution have many evidence. That's why the theory of evolution is universally accepted. Okay, so here we have completed the theory of evolution evidence. Okay, so evidence part is done. So today we are going to understand the Darwin's theory of evolution. Okay, so bye for now.